What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right. So in this video, I want to talk about Walt Clyde Frazier. Um, Today, he put out there his Mount Rushmore of the NBA, and some people have problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Because we live in a society where people can't disagree agreeably. If the guy that you think is the best player isn't on someone else's list, then you'll block them. You'll stop accepting their phone calls. You know what I'm saying? You'll cut them off socially because you guys don't agree on one single solitary issue, which shows a lack of maturity and actually, to me, some type of psychological issue with that person. You know what I'm saying? But pretty much in a nutshell, what Walt Frazier said was, I'm trying to remember it off memory. I think he said Curry is the NBA's first unanimous MVP. He deserves a shout out. All right. He said that people should apologize to Wilt and Russell for the dominance they had and what they've done for the league and the lack of appreciation that they've shown. All right. I think he said Jordan is up there and is well deserved as well. And I think he said something like LeBron isn't quite up there with those guys yet. Now, I would disagree if he's saying that he would put Curry over LeBron, but that's his opinion. Ultimately, he said that his Mount Rushmore would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Oscar Robertson. Okay? That's what he said. Now, a lot of LeBron James fanatics are up in arms, you know what I'm saying, at Walt Frazier, calling him a LeBron James hater, whatever. But see, the thing about it is, a lot of you dudes are delusional any fucking way, and a lot of you guys still have an axe to grind toward Walt Frazier because he dared criticize LeBron last year and said LeBron played like he didn't care in that game. I think the Lakers were playing the Knicks. It was a game where the Lakers were playing at New York, I think, and I think they ended up losing the goddamn game, I think. And he was saying that LeBron was like the way he was acting during the game, like he didn't care, like he just gave up. And oh my God, man, did that draw the ire of all LeBron fanboys? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of you guys still have an axe to grind. And let me tell you something else. If you think I'm being biased in this one, I got an axe to grind with some of you Jordan fanboys. If he don't feel that Jordan is the greatest, that's this man's opinion. This is his opinion. He don't have to feel like Michael Jordan, the greatest player of all time. That's his right. This man played in the NBA from 1967 to 1980. Okay? So, yes, he's going to be heavily influenced by players that he grew up watching and players that he played with during the bulk of his career in the 1970s. So, yes, he's going to feel like certain players are better, or if not better, certain players are more responsible for the growth of the league, and to him, respect for the league than other players have come after. It's a generational thing. Just like I'm drawn toward players that I watched in my generation, though I respect the players that came before, which is something I'm seeing less of every generation that's come after me, and probably was more so even with generation before me. They were more respectful of history, but I see less and less respect for the history of the game the further I go in time. He don't have to put Michael Jordan in his top. He don't have to put Michael Jordan in his Mount Rushmore. He don't have to put Kobe Bryant. He don't have to put Shaq. He don't have to put Tim Duncan. He can put whoever the fuck he want to put in his Mount Rushmore if that's what he truly feels. Respect this man's opinion. Like y'all tell me, keep the same energy. Okay? when certain people out there in the media might say LeBron's better than than Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me, look, that's that man's opinion. He feel like LeBron's better. Keep the same fucking energy. He don't feel like LeBron or Mike should be in his Mount Rushmore. Simple as that. And honestly, I don't really get mad about it. I mean, I think Jordan's the greatest NBA player of all time, but I don't think Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. If you incorporate prep, college, and pro, it's Kareem. And it's not close. Kareem is the greatest. That's why I get irritated how the media just leapfrogs LeBron over everybody. Like, it's not even, it's like LeBron went from, I'd say 10 years ago, 2009, if most people rated LeBron at that time, they would have called him a top 25 all-time player. 20, maybe. They would put him somewhere in that trajectory, in that trajectory at that time, right? But all of a sudden, I saw LeBron just leapfrog so many players, leapfrog so many greats, leapfrog David Robinson, George Mikan, Bob Pettit, Julius Erving, leapfrog Charles Barkley, leapfrog, Jerry West, Moses Malone, Karl Malone, just jumping over these dudes. He just jumped over them like Jordan at the end of Space Jam. Just leapfrog all these guys, and going past Tim Duncan, Shaq, and Kobe. No mention of has he done enough to pass any of these guys. He just went from being a top 20 guy to is he better than Jordan? But what about Bird? I mean, you guys don't even debate that. Now, I can understand the argument now putting him ahead of Bird because of his sheer longevity and durability. But my goodness, he just leapfrogged everybody. Just like I thought people prematurely crowned Jordan the GOAT. I don't think Jordan was the greatest player of all time in 1991. He hadn't done enough. I thought it was disrespectful to Magic Johnson. Magic was still historically greater than Michael in 91, 92, 93. Now, by 96, it was an argument. 97, I think he surpassed him. And then 98, the sixth championship, I think that was just enough to put him just ahead of Kareem. That's just me. I try to be logical with these things, man. But at the end of the day, look, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's still the all-time leading scorer, all-time leader in field goals made and attempted, one of the highest career field goal percentages of all time, 55.9%. The man really didn't have many holes in his game, was a really good foul shooter for a guy of his size, 72%. Uh, you know, Career averages of 24.6 points, 11.2 rebounds. But if you take away the last 2 years of his career when he really was a shell of his former self, his career averages go up closer to like 26 and 12. All right, the guy was an absolute beast, had the most unstoppable shot in the history of the NBA, and dominated the NBA for 18 of those 20 years. Like the last 2 years, he was a shell of himself. But the first 18 years of his career, was a beast. Even in his 19th year, he still was voted an all-star. All-time record, 19-time all-star. Bill Russell, the most dominant defensive player in the history of the NBA, the all-time leader in rebounds per minutes played. He's second all-time in total rebounds, 21,620. Second all-time in rebounds per game, 22.5. If the award existed back then, he probably would have an all-time record as far as Defensive Player of the Year awards. But that award didn't exist until the early 80s. Revolutionized basketball. You know what I'm saying? In his prime, could literally guard all 5 positions on the floor. You know what I'm saying? And he was not 6'9", 215 in his prime. He was closer to 6'10", 240, all right, in his prime. So, Bill Russell, and then, just the fact that he was the anchor, the anchor of the greatest dynasty in NBA history. 8 consecutive NBA championships. and 11 championships in 13 years. Then you have Wilt Chamberlain, who's statistically the most dominant basketball player by far in history. If you think James Harden is dominating this season, you should see what Wilt Chamberlain, did during the first 4 years of his career. All right, the first 4 years of Wilt Chamberlain's NBA career was unbelievable. Okay, unbelievable what he did the first 4 years of his career. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to the first 4 years of his career right now. He had career numbers of 30.1 points, second all time, 22.9 rebounds, number one all time. The highest aggregate rebound total of all time, 23,924. Even though he has a reputation for being a selfish player, for a center, he averaged a very impressive 4.4 assists per game in his career. Led the league in minutes played, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, but 8 times he led the league in minutes played, and he averaged 45.8 minutes per game in an era that was very fast, the fastest era in the NBA. So anybody that sits there and tell you that in today's NBA, Wilt Chamberlain couldn't cut it, don't know what the fuck they talking about. Because he played in the fastest era in the history of the NBA, which was the early to mid 1960s, when they averaged 120, I think, possessions a contest. You know what I'm saying? I think in today's NBA, it might be closer to like 100? So, and in the 90s, it could be more like 60. But the first 4 years of Wilt Chamberlain's career, he averaged 47.6 minutes played. So he played damn near the whole game, 42.9 points, and 26 rebounds. I think he still holds, 20 years after his death and over 45 years after he last played, over 70 NBA records, including most points scored in the game, most points scored in a half, most rebounds in the game, most seasons leading the NBA in rebounding, and so many more records. He's still the only center to lead the NBA in assists. He's the most dominant player in the history of the NBA. And right now, if you talk about the top 4 guys with 50-point games in their careers, James Harden has 23 career 50-point games. Kobe Bryant has 25 career 50-point games. Michael Jordan has 39. Wilt Chamberlain, 122. Nobody's going to catch him. Even if James Harden tried, he's not going to catch Wilt Chamberlain. And last but not least, Oscar Robertson, the best all-around player in the 1960s. Now, Oscar was not padding his numbers when he played, all right? He wasn't padding his numbers. He couldn't afford to because the Cincinnati Royals weren't really a good team, compared to the other teams. He elevated the level of play on that team, all right? There was no system in place that was padding his numbers. It was his greatness. He was a tremendous rebounding guard. He was 6'5" in an era where that's like being 6'8" now as a point guard. Okay. 210, 220 pounds. He was strong. He was an ox. You know what I'm saying? He was a total complete player. He was the most complete player in the NBA during his prime. He could do it all, man. He could rebound. He was not the best defensive player, but he wasn't bad. He had a post game, he had a mid-range game. I mean, he had the fadeaway. Jordan got that from Oscar. You know what I'm saying? Like, Phil Jackson once said that the best post scorers he saw at the shooting guard position were Oscar Robertson and Michael Jordan. So, and Phil Jackson played for New York Knicks in the 1960s and 70s. So he would know something about basketball. He would know something about the NBA. So there's a reason why Walt Frazier has those guys as his Mount Rushmore, and you can disagree about it, but to sit there and cry because he doesn't have your favorite player on there shows more about you than him.